Coming up on Mountain News this morning, more information is coming up about a deadly shooting Friday night in multiple counties. And one Eastern Kentucky school is upping security at its front door.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are just past 5:30 this morning on this first alert weather day. So let's send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast.
And a good Tuesday to you, Madison. Somewhat of a foggy start. Let's highlight the severe weather first before we get you out the door. And again, the time frame as we head through the day today is basically this afternoon to this evening. Now, it looks like some of these storms will pulse up, get strong, maybe severe, and then end up falling apart. But I'm more concerned about what's coming at us tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening after about 4 or 5 o'clock. And all modes of severe weather, both today and tomorrow, are completely on the table. Now let's get you ready to get you out the door. And you see this and you're like, let's pull the blankets back over your head, right? 61 outside our door here at WYMT. Visibility is as low as a half mile in spots, so please keep that in mind. Yeah, don't put the blankets over your head. You need the extra time this morning. 60 to 65 minus our viewers watching from Clint, Boyd and Wise. Mid-50s your way. A couple of showers early this morning, but that's about it. The main action again coming as we head through the afternoon, and a high today in Hazard to 82. More about your first alert 7-day forecast trending cooler and quieter. That's all coming up in a few moments. Madison?
Tim, thank you. Now to a developing story we are following. 3 young people were injured in a serious crash last night in Breathitt County. It happened on Jet Drive in Jackson near an assisted living facility. Several people and groups have posted on social media asking for prayers for the 3 young athletes. Police say at least 2 needed treatment at a trauma center. Their names and conditions have not been released by officials. Police are investigating after a body was found in Harlan County. A deputy coroner pronounced a 55-year-old man dead Monday afternoon at a home in the Cold Iron community. The body is being sent to the state medical examiner's office to determine the exact cause and manner of death. The name of the person who died has not been released. 3 people are dead after a violent series of events in southern Kentucky. It happened Friday night between Pulaski and Russell counties. Police say a woman shot and killed her husband, then opened fire on her siblings. That woman, Angela Gosser, was also killed in the gunfire. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has learned one of the victims is a former Fish and Wildlife officer. He has more from Russell County.
Well, this all started Friday night when Larry Gosser was shot and killed. That happened in Pulaski County. Police say that Angela Gosser was the one that fired the weapon. Then she proceeded to come to Russell County, where she shot her sister Jennifer Wilson, and police say then got into a shootout with her brother Daryl Wilson. Larry Gosser was working on a tree on his property in western Pulaski County when police say that his wife opened fire on him, killing him. It's not clear why that or the other deadly shootings happened.
Still open for investigation. We're still looking at the motive and reason. We're going to work closely with detectives are right now back there working on our end of it, going to work closely with Kentucky State Police and Columbia Post.
Gosser worked for many years for Fish and Wildlife, and his family says he loved the outdoors. People say that he had an influence on a lot of others during his service, even on those he didn't know well.
I do remember when I seen the photo of him. I did remember him from years past.
And along with his work in Fish and Wildlife, I'm told that Larry Gosser was very involved in agriculture. He loved to farm. He was in milk and cattle and tobacco farming. He was also on the governor's marijuana task force. In Russell County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Funeral services for Larry Gosser are set for 2 p.m. Wednesday at Wilson Funeral Home in Russell Springs. Visitation will be there after 5 p.m. Tuesday. Services for Angela Gosser will be at noon Friday at Wilson Funeral Home. Police are continuing to investigate an explosion that happened in Pulaski County over the weekend. The explosion reportedly lasted for several seconds. Pulaski County Sheriff Bobby Jones says it was felt in places miles away as debris was scattered about. He says they responded to a home on Hidden Crest Drive off US Highway 27. He says that's when they found the source of the explosion: fireworks.
Find insulation and stuff in their yards, and from several miles away from this location that exploded. It was a outbuilding behind a residence in a subdivision that was storing fireworks. Something had happened inside of that to set that off.
The ATF and Pulaski County Sheriff's Office are both investigating the explosion. Sheriff Bobby Jones says one person died, 43-year-old Christopher Feinberg. 3 others were hurt. A man was charged with escape and resisting arrest in Clay County. Police responded to a complaint that someone was trying to break into a home. When they arrived, police said they encountered Willie Henson. Henson was charged with escape, resisting arrest, and menacing. He was taken to the Clay County Detention Center. Knox County Sheriff's Office is conducting a death investigation. Police responded to a call Monday morning saying a man was unresponsive at his home on Dripping Springs Road in Hinkle. When they arrived, police found 61-year-old Ricky Jordan. Jordan was pronounced dead at the scene by the Knox County coroner. Police say no foul play is suspected at this time. The body was sent to Frankfort for an autopsy to verify the cause of death. 2 Johnson County men were arrested after a drug bust at a traffic safety checkpoint. Police say they seized approximately 1/2 of a pound of meth and drug paraphernalia at the checkpoint in Salyersville. Nicholas Barnett and Tony Endicott of West Van Leer were both charged with trafficking meth. Both men were taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. Officials with Harlan County Schools are continuing to find ways to be proactive in cases of emergency. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how the school district's newest safety measure has impacted students.
Walking into the doors of Harlan County High School, students will now have to go through metal detectors. Harlan County Schools Chief of Police Matt Cope says they are different from standard metal detectors found in airports.
When you compare it to a traditional metal detector that goes off on every piece of metal, this one here focuses on like densities and shapes and that type of stuff. So it allows them to come through and not have to empty all their pockets out with cell phones and everything like that.
Cope says they wanted to make students aware of the new equipment before they brought it into the school.
You know, we want the students to feel comfortable with what's coming here. So when we first were deciding on it, you know, we met with some of those groups, we met with some classes, we met with the student council. We explained to them about how everything's going to work with the detectors.
Senior William Cassim says they have a system in place if the detector does go off to not hold anyone up.
So the way they have it set up is you go through it, and if you do go off, you go to the left and go up the steps, and they check on it. And then if it doesn't go off, you go right and you go on to class, and it ain't a big deal. They'll have the wands and just look in your bag, and it takes seconds to detect what actually set it off, and they know about immediately what sets it off.
However, senior Jacob Shoemaker says he was worried it would slow things down when arriving to school.
You know, you're just afraid it's going to take a while to get in and out. You know, get in the building, you'll be late to class stuff. But the first couple of days it was rough, but you expect that. So once they got it to the level they needed it to be, to where it just, you know, it doesn't go off on the keys and the, you know, the phone, stuff like that, it wasn't bad. But you can definitely appreciate the attempt that the school district's making to keep us safe.
Saying he is thankful for the several security upgrades officials have put in place around the school. In Harlan County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Cope says they can turn the sensitivity on the detectors up or down, adding they are also portable and can use them during different events around the school. One Girl Scout in Moorhead is working toward her Gold Award by spreading awareness about banned books. Katie Hardesty is a senior level Girl Scout and had to complete an 80-hour project to serve the community to achieve the highest award. Hardesty chose to host an educational and interactive program centered around banned books. Hardesty chose the project of banned books because of her passion for reading.
We were talking about our favorite books and stuff like that, and then we got onto the topic of book events, and we got onto the topic of banned books, and I realized I love books a lot. Books really help me communicate. I love reading books. It's very educational. It has built so much empathy.
The book club also included a discussion centered around Anne Frank's diary, the graphic adaptation, and The Hate U Give. Construction on a Letcher County bridge began yesterday. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet say the bridge will be closed 3 to 4 weeks for a rehabilitation project. The bridge is located in downtown Whitesburg on East Main Street. Officials said crews will begin construction by operating on the deck and beams. The bridge will remain closed to all traffic while the project is ongoing. When we return, we'll take a look at the new upcoming Superman in costume.
Foggy start to the day across parts of eastern and southern Kentucky. Active regarding a severe weather threat, not only this afternoon, but also tomorrow. All the details with your First Alert 7-day forecast. That's coming up right after this.